You're listening to The AI Said What, a podcast of original horror stories written entirely by artificial intelligence. No rewrites, no corrections, just raw, unfiltered fiction pulled from the digital void and delivered straight to you. Some stories are strange, some stories are terrifying, and some feel a little too real. Let us begin. This is the manifest. They say cruise ships are cities that float, all inclusive, sealed, self contained, but they never talk about the morgue. Every ship has one, just in case. When the Harrington family boarded the Orchid Dream for a 7-day Caribbean cruise, they had no idea the ship would drift back to port empty, except for a half written manifest and the echo of voices that weren't ever there. Claire Harrington hadn't smiled like that in Claire Harrington hadn't smiled like that in years. Light bounced off of the Miami pier, her sunglasses tilted as she filmed their walk towards the ship. Vacation mode activated, she joked, panning the phone to her husband Jason and their teenage daughter Abby. They looked like any other family until you got close. Jason hadn't packed Jason hadn't unpacked the grief Claire had Jason hadn't unpacked the grief. Claire hadn't forgiven the distance, and Abby didn't want to be there. But the cruise was prepaid. No refunds, no excuses. The Orchid Dream loomed like a glittering white tower of the water. The Orchid Dream loomed like a glittering white tower on the water. Crew in white gloves, complimentary champagne. The ship's hallways were almost too clean, overly waxed, faintly lemon-scented, and humming with soft jazz. And behind it all, something quieter, like a held breath. On day 2, Abby swore someone was in their room. She'd gone back for her phone, but when she opened the cabin door, the lights were off. The air was cold. You could see her breath, and the mirror was fogged like someone had just taken a shower. Claire brushed it off. Maybe it was the AC. It just went over in overdrive, she said. But Abby didn't believe her. She heard humming, not music, a voice, a low, steady tune. No words, just sound. And that night, at dinner, a family from Deck 5 didn't show up. Their table was cleared like they'd never existed. Jason joked about food poisoning, but Claire noticed something else. Their chairs had been pushed in, precisely, and their names vanished from the digital seating screen. Day 4, a loudspeaker crackled an announcement halfway through breakfast. Deck 3 is closed for scheduled maintenance. Please remain in common areas. Jason raised a brow. Deck 3 is the medical wing, right? Claire nodded, but the staff, they wouldn't talk. One waiter, when asked, just smiled, too long, and said, "Everything's fine. The sea is calm today." But it wasn't. That afternoon, Jason followed a crew member through a restricted stairwell. What he found wasn't maintenance. It was cold, steel, a hallway of sealed doors. 3 were labeled body storage, max capacity 3. The 4th door had no label, but it was humming. That same low tone Abby had described. He didn't open it, he just walked away fast. Day 5. Claire woke up, different. She sat at the edge of the bed for hours, eyes open, whispering. Jason thought she was sleep talking until she started humming. And that night, they found Abby staring into the cabin mirror. It wasn't reflecting them properly. Claire's reflection smiled before she did. Jason's didn't move at all. Abby screamed, and the mirror cracked down the middle, shattering like glass under pressure, but no one touched it. The humming began in other places, over the intercom, in the pool filter, in the vents. By sunset, the pool deck was empty, except for a single towel, laid out perfectly, fold, laid out perfectly folded, and nobody around. Jason tried to use the emergency phone. It was dead, so he ran to the bridge only to find it sealed. Through a porthole, he saw the crew just standing, staring at screens, each one humming. A turned He turned, a passenger walked He turned. A passenger walked past, grinning, eyes wide open. Then another, and by midnight, the hallway speakers repeated a single message. We see you. We see you. You are aboard. Claire vanished on day 6. Jason found her slippers neatly placed outside the bathroom. Inside, just steam. And that humming. Louder now. Abby screamed again. She'd seen someone in the hallway, but it wasn't Claire. It looked like her, but it wasn't her. And they ran, down through the deck, door slamming shut behind them, chased by silence. When they reached the morgue, the unmarked door was open. Inside, nothing. No bodies, just recordings. Footage playing on loop. Passengers boarding, walking, staring at the camera. One clip showed Jason. Another showed Abby, but in black and white, moving slowly. The final clip, Claire, smiling, eyes black, whispering something through the screen. Abby leaned in, and the lights cut out. Only Jason came back. Or something wearing Jason's face. He was found wandering the Miami pier, soaked, silent, no memory. The Orchid Dream returned 3 hours later, empty. No passengers, no crew. Just a humming noise in the electrical system and a single line of digital text burned into the bridge monitor. All souls accounted for. Manifest complete.